Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for another tutorial from Melinda's Rubber Room. I am Melinda Pierce and I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 20 years and I love sharing my stamping techniques and tricks with you, so I'm glad that you were able to join me today. Today I'm going to show you a card that I made during one of my Zoom sessions. We are having Zoom sessions every Wednesday and Saturday mornings usually from 10 to 12:30ish. All the information is on my Facebook business page at www.facebook.com/Melinda's Rubber Room. So hopefully you'll check out the Zoom sessions that are coming up and be able to join us. It'd be great to have you along with us. So I do have a featured project that I showed during my Zoom session, and I show you how to do the project. And if anybody wants to do it along with me, I post all of the materials that you need, so you can gather them up ahead of time, and then we do the project together. So it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get some of your stamps out and your supplies and make a card with the stuff that you already have. So let me get right to it. I'll point you down and show you my work surface so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so the card that we will be doing today is this one, and it does use designer series paper, and it folds out like that. So it's just kind of a fun little fold using designer series paper. It's a great way to use up some of that paper. It does allow you to see both sides of the designer series paper. I know a lot of times we don't want to use our designer series paper because we like one side and we like both sides, and this way we can use both sides and share the beautiful paper that we have. So what we're going to do is start with your designer series paper, which measures 5 1/4 by 12, and you're going to mark halfway between the 5 1/4 inch, which is 2 5/8 inches. So you're just going to make a little tick mark there, and then you're going to cut it from one corner up to that tick mark, and then you're going to cut it from the tick mark down to the other corner. So you'll end up with a banner looking piece. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm looking for 2 5/8. I'm going to do that down here at the bottom. And 5/8 is 10 little tick marks from the 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right there. So in other words, it's 2 tick marks away from the 2.5 mark. Okay. And then you're going to have to put that on an angle in your cutter. The Stampin' Up! Cutter does allow you to put this on an angle with reaching from your tick mark all the way up to the end. The cutting edge goes all the way up there. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this down. So there's one piece that's cut off, and then you're going to do the same thing on the other corner, matching up your tick mark with the other corner. Like so. And then you'll have a banner looking piece. Now you want to save these little pieces. I'll show you what I did with them at the end, but you can use those for other projects. So go ahead and save those. Now you're going to take your banner piece and you're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches. So with your straight edge here, you're going to line up to the 4 inches. Make sure your paper is straight, and you're going to score using your gray blade. Score that at 4 inches, and then you're going to score it again at 8 inches. So I'm just going to bring this out to 8 inches. And go ahead and score that. Okay, so now the tough part is deciding which which of your designer series paper you like more. So if you like this side more, you're going to have that facing up because you see that most, as opposed to this other side, which you're only going to see a little bit of. Okay, so you're going to take your mat size, which is 4 by 5 1/4. That's your mat, and that is going to be the piece that you line this designer series paper on. So you're going to put the side that you like facing up, and then this is going to fold back at the 4-inch mark, and then the opposite way on the 8-inch mark. So you have it so that it looks like that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. I did get the new Stampin' seal, and I do have to say that I really like it. There is a little bit of learning curve to it. When you get to where you want to stop the tape from running, you want to stop it and lift in the direction in which you were pulling it. So it's a little bit different than some of the other tape runners that we were using in the past, but it's just a learning curve that you just need to get over. But it is really good tape. It holds a lot better than the other snail that we used to carry. Okay, so this piece is glued down to your mat. This piece, what you're going to want to do is just cut part of this off because we don't want the point showing over here. So we're just going to fold this point back a little bit and cut it off. And then we're going to go ahead and attach adhesive to this little flap. And that's going to be taped down like so. So this part is going to lift up. Now you'll also have a card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that at 4 1/4. So your typical card base, and then you're going to have a mat that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Very skinny little margin that goes around the edges here. I'm going to go ahead and attach that. So again, I'm attaching the mat that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 to the card base. And this is just going to give you a little bit of white going around the edges. And then you're going to take this mat and put that right on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and tape that. Like so. All right, so that is the front of our card. It's just going to open like that and open to the inside. So now we have to create this little square that goes on the top. The front square mat is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4. That's going to go right on top. And then we have a piece that goes on top of that that is 3 by 3. That's going to go on right like that. So let me go ahead and tape that, or stamp that. So I am using the stamps from Autumn Goodness. This is the stamp set. And this does have coordinating dies with it. It's a great little stamp for all of your fall cards. You can see it has the wheelbarrow and all the dies to cut out the flowers and the haystack and this cute little fence that would be great for any cards with flowers coming out of it, or you could do like a spooky little scene for Halloween or something. So anyway, that's the set that I'm using. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp the pumpkins. I'm going to use Early Espresso because that's what I'm using on my mat. And because I used our regular Stampin' Up! Ink pads, I can go ahead and use the blends to color those images in. The blends are alcohol markers, And because our ink pads are water-based, your ink is going to stay exactly where you want it to be. So you can stamp with any of our markers, or stamp with any of our ink pads, and color in with any of our marker or any of our blends. So I'm just going to do this really quickly because Stampin' Up! Has these shading marks. You don't have to do a whole lot of shading on your own, but if I wanted to take more time, I would go back and hit those with a little bit of the darker color. So right now I'm just coloring in with the light pumpkin blends. And if I wanted to add more shading, I would go in with a darker pumpkin. So this one is our bronze marker. This is really a nice brown to use. I like to use it for the baskets. Crumb cake would be nice for the baskets as well. I think I'll do that on the back one. I just love how nice and smooth the blends are. They just are so easy to apply. I'm going to use those on the stems of the pumpkin too. Use a little old olive on the leaves. So glad the weather is finally cooling off a little bit. It makes it feel a little bit more like fall. And the smoke is clearing from California, so that's nice. Makes it nice to go outside again. Okay, so I have this almost all colored in. I'm going to go with some Mango Melody to color in some of those other gourds. Kind of lighten it up a little bit. And let's see. Fall is never complete without some Cajun Craze, which is what I actually used in my card. Okay, so that'll do it for now. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sayings. So you actually need 3 sayings for this card. Or you have the opportunity to put 3 sayings on, or 3 stamped images. So plant kindness, harvest love is my first one. Now this is going to be attached to the front of your card, but you want to be able to make sure that you can lift the card up. So you don't want to have any adhesive right here. You just want it on this part. So I would just go ahead and attach, put the adhesive on here, making sure that you don't go too far over here. Okay, and then this gets lined up right on the right hand side, and you just want to kind of center it. Okay, so this lifts up now, no adhesive showing and no adhesive over here. Okay, so now you have an inside mat and another chance to put sayings. So the inner mat is 2 1/4 by 1 3/4. That's the early espresso. And the white piece is 2 by 1 1/2. So the Early Express, though, I can go ahead and tape that into place. And then I want to stamp a saying. This one says, "All good things come from above." That gets put on right on top of the Early Espresso mat. Okay, so now we got the front done, the middle part done, and then we just have to do the inside. The inside is your typical inside mat, which is 5 1/4 by 4. Get rid of some of my sticky notes here. And now we're going to stamp "Thankful for You." And all of these words are in that one stamp set, Autumn Goodness. So it's a great little stamp set for fall. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that. A little strange that this tape works fine when I'm working at it, using it, and then when I stop to put it down, for some reason it doesn't like to work at the beginning. Not sure what the deal is with that. Okay, so there is my completed card. Let's see if I can get a little closer for you. And then let me show you the original. Same type of idea, just used a little different designer series paper. I really like this designer series paper, it's so pretty. All right, and then here's another version using the nautical paper that we have. This is just a birthday card, like that. Okay, and then I wanted to show you what you can do with your leftover pieces. So this was one idea I came up with. So you can see that I laid it down and then folded it over. And then this was another one. So what I did first is I used the larger ends. Let me see if I have some cardstock here. So you're just going to create a mat that is 5 1/4 by 4. And then you're going to lay your designer series paper down with the straight side along the top of your mat. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply the tape onto the mat. There's a lot of different ways that you could use these pieces, but this is just a couple of them. So did that one first, and then I went back and did this other side the same way. So you're just matching up your corners and your straight edges, like that. And then you want to just cut off those remaining pieces, and those are going to be used for the other card. If you're like me, you never want to waste your designer series paper, so this is a great way to use it. So you can see how that design was used for this card. And then let me show you this one. It's just a little bit different. Again, starting with your same base size. So 4 by 5 1/4. These ones, again, you're going to match up your straight edges. And then this time, instead of cutting off the extra, you're just going to fold that back. And this way you get to see that other side of that gorgeous designer series paper. So that's one of them. You could just leave it like that, or you can use the other piece to decorate the bottom of the paper. And again, just fold that piece back. You could score this ahead of time. It's just in 4-inch increments. But you just do it that way as well. So I want to make sure that you can get rid of any of that tape that you put down by mistake. And this Stampin' Seal removes really easily with just your finger, which is nice. I was talking the other day with somebody about the adhesive remover, and this one, I guess you could just use your finger. It works just fine. Alrighty, so those are, you can see how that card is the same as that as far as the layout goes. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video and how you can find all different ways of using your designer series paper to make some fun cards. It would be great to see you on one of my Zoom sessions. Feel free to join us. Again, that's Melinda's Rubber Room on my business Facebook page. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me on my YouTube channel or reach me on my Facebook page. It'd be great to talk to you. Take care. Bye-bye.